This one was written because of my daughter, Margarita. Daughter, 8-year-old daughter of mine, sweet little blossoming flower, caramel princess. We are not poor, are we, Mom? No. Uh-uh. My daughter has everything an 8-year-old living in public housing can ever have. She has mom, brother, TV, bike, and dolls. She plays the recorder and is on a basketball team. The toys she received last Christmas from the Boys Club, she gave away to someone's poor child. Collected canned goods for someone's Christmas dinner, and gave her last dollar at church Sunday. My sweet innocent princess asked me again, we are not poor, are we, Mom? No. Uh-uh.
This is a writing workshop. If you want to be in it, you have to be a woman, and you have to live in public housing. We've been meeting for 5 years. The writers vary in age, in background, in the reason why they are in public housing. The women in this writing workshop all come from Western Massachusetts, most of them from Chicopee.
I'm very small next to this river. I want to write about my love for this place, the people I know. I want to tell you how a man 28 years old can die from smoking cocaine, how a mother waits for her child to leave the crack houses. But I'm greedy for my own sustenance. We love hard in this factory town, recklessly. We claim what we can for ours and speak an old word, revenge. We hate like a door that keeps slamming shut. Me, I cook Italian, drink wine, live alone, and dust the house for fleas. I meet my man at the bar most Fridays. It's enough somehow.
Elementary principles of composition. Choose a suitable design and hold to it. Use the active voice. Put statements in positive form. Omit needless words. Use definite, specific, concrete language.
Okay, we're here to write. I want you to remember some things that we try to remember every time. I want you to remember that your language that comes up out of your memory is strong and beautiful. I want you to remember that you learned perfectly to speak. I want you to let me see something. I want you to let me hear something, taste something, because the world comes to us that way. Tell me a story. Tess Gallagher has a wonderful poem in which she says, "Tell me something I can't forget." The first exercise I do with people is to put out random objects because they represent the world. That's the way the world comes to us. Objects, things. If I put any object in your hands and ask you to just think about it, that concrete object will take you to memories that are strong and vivid and are emotionally based.
The alarm goes off. Oh no, 4:15 again, so soon. I lay there and think about the day that faces me. Another long one with nothing to do but run those big turntables. You lay the work down, push the button, and it turns. I call it my lay, push, and turn job. 4:20. How many will I do today? 2,600 yesterday. Maybe I'll try for 27. Or maybe 23. It depends on who works with me and what type of work I have. Got a 30-cent raise, the highest in my department. I must be doing something right. My supervisor and my boss think I'm worth $5 an hour. So where is it? 4:25. I shouldn't be so greedy. Lucky to have a job. The people are nice. We can go in the ladies' room for about 5 minutes and average about 4 times a day and do our thing and puff, puff, puff on the old cigarette before our little 5 minutes are up. I end up throwing half a cigarette away every time. Then there's a 10-minute break. Then some more puff, puff, puff. Then lunch. Then some more puff, puff, puff. And then break time again. Then some more puff, puff, puff. Then it's time to go home for all except me. Another 2 hours I have to work. Bills, bills, bills. 4:30. Oh, well. Time to get up and start things happening. The only big problem I have every morning is opening my eyes and finding the floor. A task in itself. Good thing I like that job.
I can do outrageous things with postcards. If I lay out 100 postcards, among those will be people of every economic class. There will be nudes, pictures of people being uptight. There are pictures of people being religious. There are pictures of people being erotic. Postcards work because they are an instant flash of memory, an instant slice of life, as you have experienced it or as you might fantasize experiencing it.
My mother and I were on a ship sailing for America. One afternoon, while my mother was on the deck, someone came around and was handing out these long yellow things. My mother took one, held it in her hand, and she was told to eat it. It's good for you. She couldn't believe the awful bitter taste in her mouth. She turned to the rail and spit out what she had in her mouth and threw the rest of the thing into the ocean. Later on, she heard some people talking about the fruit and how good it was. She couldn't understand why they thought it was so good, until finally someone told her that she has to peel it first and eat the inside. To this day, when I eat a banana, I think of my mother. And just like my mother, it's my favorite, too. The story about the banana always stays with me.
Oh, thank you, Emily. Okay, who would like to be next?
This is some pictures Pat put on the floor. It was an old man and an old lady in it. And I wrote, John, why doesn't he believe me when I tell him where I've been? He used to believe me. I tell him I went to see my sisters, and he says, sure, I bet you did. He keeps staring at me with the mean brown eyes. Why me? Why can't it be someone else? He always thinks I'm cheating on him. I tell him I love him. He turns his face around and don't answer me. I keep telling him, trust me. I've been married to you long, and this is what I get when I go out. I better stay home more often.
Any exercise I put out works better for some people than others, so I try to do very different kind of things on every given evening.
This piece is called Guided Fantasy. I close my eyes and I'm being told to think about someone I love or someone who I'm very close to. Right away I think of Jimmy. I see him standing there as I always do every day, and I'm being told to think of him as an animal. Jimmy starts to change, but I can't make up my mind. I want to make him a goose because he likes to honk all the time. I also want to make him soft and huggable like a soft brown bear. I want to make him like a beaver because he is always busy. I will make him into a platypus with the bill of a duck, the soft fur of the bear, and the activity of a beaver. I can see myself change into something very big and very strong. I am a grizzly bear. Then I am being told to put the two animals together. I see the platypus along with the grizzly bear holding up this giant broken tree. I feel that we could hold this tree forever.
I begin a fantasy by trying to get people to be aware of their own physical bodies. Then I say, move back in your imagination to some time before this time and find yourself in a doorway. Find yourself in an old car. Find yourself in an upstairs hallway. And when you're ready, very quietly pick up your paper and write whatever your eye sees or whatever it is that comes to you to write.
Fantasy. I am in my mom's bedroom, on her bed, in the middle between Eddie and my mom. My mom is trying to talk to me so that I would calm down and relax and just let Eddie do what he wanted to do with me, while my mom is in a way of giving him encouragement, like saying that it is okay for Eddie to do what he wants to do with me. It felt to me that she actually gave permission for this guy, who is not my father, to do terrible things to me. All I do remember her saying was, "Just don't hurt her," while in my mind I felt alone.
Be clear. Avoid fancy words. Write in a way that comes naturally.
Hello? 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 Is anyone there? Is anyone listening? Does anyone care? I care, and I alone care. The singleness of being a single parent is dangerously unhealthy. The island the single parent stands on is far away from civilization. The screams she makes are unheard screams that only she hears.
Do not explain too much. Do not affect a breezy manner.
Why didn't the rest of the family come and see Mama? Oh, I don't know. Maybe they're too busy. Maybe they didn't have the time. Mama's dress is nice, don't you think? Maybe they had to work. I wish she could have had the blue dress on. Mama looks good in the blue one. Maybe they didn't know it was today. Don't you like Mama's hair? I wish I had hair like Mama's. Maybe they don't know where it is. Can I touch Mama? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe they don't care. Hey, Mama's cold. Believe, have faith. The Lord takes care of his children, they preach. Oh, who are they kidding? I don't want to read the rest.
Would you like somebody else to read it for you?
No.
Okay. Now, we're a writing workshop, and we love each other, but the way we protect each other is to deal with this as writing. So what can we say about the narrator? What can we say about what we've been given in the piece of writing? What's strong? What stays with you?
Being on an island, being a single voice, and having that voice just echo back to itself came right across, and the image, too, of the hair cascading over the neck was very nice. I think the voice is real strong, too. Can I touch you, Mama? It's very powerful, Robin.
That was really very powerful, and language follows emotion. As our emotion goes deep, our language gets strong and true, and the language was really strong and true. Okay, honey, thank you very much for reading to us. There was a small Protestant church at the edge of the slums where I lived, and on its way out, dying, about ready to move out to the suburbs, and some woman died and left some money to the church. And the minister decided that he wanted to use it to send me to college. I didn't know that it cost money to go to college. And I remember his coming to the building where I lived. Coming in, I was mortally embarrassed because our house was dirty as well as poor. And he came in and sat down, moves the clutter aside, sits down. And he says, "We want to send you to college." And I knew I should fix my face to act really surprised. And so I did, act really surprised and happy. But what I really was feeling inside is I didn't know it cost money to go to college. It didn't cost money to go to high school. So I thought people could just go to college the same way they went to high school. So this church paid my way to college, paid my tuition, bought my clothes, gave me my spending money, bought my Kotex, literally became father and mother to me. And I was very impressed when I got there and realized that everybody else had a lot of money. And from my point of view, everybody else came from families that could afford to pay, and that what this church was doing for me. And so I told someone else when I was about 2 years into college, isn't this wonderful? This church is paying my way through college and buying everything for me. And the person said, don't you know you're just a token poor person to that church? That church feels really good because they're paying your way through college. And you're just their token poor person. Well, I ain't no token. You know, I'm here. I'm here today and educated and a writer because that church, for whatever reasons of valid concern or invalid guilt, they reached out and touched me.
Come, let us soar.
Writing a poem is discovering something about yourself. It's telling the truth. It's saying, I am. I am, world. Finding out who you are, feeling good about who you are, is the first step toward changing the world for yourself and for your children.
I wrote this poem thinking about my son and how children can experience a lot of cruelty from their parents and look for goodness in whatever situation they find themselves. It's called Forgive Us Our Trespasses. Your father is drunk again and wants to make you a man. He holds your small shoulder cupped in the palm of a shaking hand. His large fingers enter your mouth, and he sways like the bending branches as he hugs the tooth. He snaps the tiny bone from your jaw. Your mouth smells of death, the smell of your father washed under by alcohol. You stand in the woods outside his home. Insect bites the size of silver dollars cover your body like bruises. Your father's gone to sleep it off and left you to suck the blood from the hollow of a dying tooth. Later you tell me it is good.
In one of the workshops with Pat Schneider, she had introduced a poem that was written by another lady of things that her mother had said to her. But I took mine a step further and put things that my mother said to me, but also things that I say to my children. The first one is things my mother said to me. Always show your manners, show respect for your elders, eat all the food on your plate whether you like it or not, comb your hair, don't touch your breast, never kiss a boy on the first date, don't swear, don't say fuck, always keep your legs crossed to prevent boys from entering, always wear a bra, always change your underwear after taking a bath, and keep your hands out of your pants, it's a sin. Things I say to my children. Show your manners, they make you look nice. Eat most of the food on your plate. Say how you feel. If you don't like it, say so. You don't have to like everyone. Keep your hands out of your mouth. If this is how to politely, this is how to politely tell someone to fuck off. This is how to lie to protect yourself. You can have friends who are boys, but no boy friends. If you want to put your hands in your pants, do it in your room with the door shut.
My eyes are gray clear as water. My hair is curly brown, as curly as millions of tiny coils, coils that won't spring. My skin is as dark as a bar of Hershey's. Imagine me, I am not an eyesore. I am a singer, for I have a voice and a soul. A writer, for I am an intellect, and an artist, for I have creativity. See me, look at me, don't turn away from me. I will not vanish like some magician's trick. I will not go away like a stray dog. Face me. Look into my life-filled eyes. See the essence of me. I am here to stay. I will not go away. Reach out, touch me. I am warm.
None of us had any idea when we started what the end would be. Every woman is in school. Every woman is modeling for her children how to go to school, how to become free, how to get out of poverty. The most important change is the way the women see themselves, the way they feel about themselves, and the way they feel about their place in the world.
This is a little piece I wrote in the visual arts segment of our workshops, which were run by Mary Claire Powell. She wanted us to do something with these words. I used to be, but now, and this is what I wrote. I used to be shy, but now I'm not. I used to be afraid, but now I'm not. I used to be young, but now I'm not. I used to be pretty, but now I'm beautiful.